What is up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new Game Week 34 Wildcard video. In this video, we're going to be looking at various couple of options from Game Week 34 Wildcard with no chips, a 34 Wildcard with one bench boost chipped, one free hit chip only. So one bench boost which you'll play in maybe 36, one free hit which you'll probably play in 36. Game Week 34 Wildcard with one bench boost left and a free hit left as well, so that you either play with the bench boost in 36 and free hit in 37, and also free hit in 36, bench boost in 37. So we'll look at all those different combinations of wildcards. So let's get started. If you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and let me know, are you playing the wildcard in 34 or are you thinking of waiting till 35 and playing the wildcard so you can avoid some of the Chelsea assets as well? Let me know what you're thinking. Let's get into the video. Let's get started. Alright, so now this is the Game Week 34 wildcard with no chips left at all, just the wildcard. And this is kind of the squad that I have from FPL review. So what I did was I went and I chucked my team into FPL review, and I was like, okay, give me the best wildcard squad for Game Week 34 with no other chips left. And based on my team, the value that I had in the bank, 104.5 million, this is the team it spit out. From 34 to 38, it's expected to score about 387.1 points with some interesting picks here. Now, from these picks, I think I like it. The one thing is, here we can kind of cut corners in certain areas. Now, this is just a wildcard with no chip. You don't really need a strong bench like this. Maybe like you have Mendy and Schmeichel here, you don't really need two playing goalkeepers. You could probably just pick one playing goalkeeper, most likely Schmeichel because of the number of games. Pick him and then have a very cheaper goalkeeper. That gives you a bit more funds to maybe boost the midfield or even boost the striking spot. You could probably not have to have two striker options. You could go with maybe one striker option. If you had the value, maybe upgrade one of them to Harry Kane, but this is just picking like the number of fixtures left and trying to add as many players in there as possible to try and get as many fixtures in there as possible. You could maybe boost the midfield as well. You could, instead of having Maddison, you could probably have, if you wanted a Spurs player, you could have Heung-min Son in there. If Maddison is a bit too much of a minutes risk. So those are a few changes you could make on this if you had no chip left and just the wildcard. Apart from that, in terms of Game Week 34 itself, it's got you two Chelsea players immediately, which is Mount and Reece James. Not too bad. If you wanted a third, you could probably go Havertz to, instead of Maddison, maybe have a Havertz down. Oh, it's got Mendy as well here, but you could probably downgrade Mendy to a non-playing goalkeeper, upgrade Maddison to Havertz, and then in 35 you could make some changes around. But this is the team that it's got. It's not a bad squad. I think it's pretty good, but I think a lot of people also have a chip left, so let's get into it. Now, this is the Game Week 34 wildcard with a 36 bench boost. Compared to this squad with no chip, it's expected to score roughly about 20 points more, which is kind of makes sense because your bench for 36 will give you about 20 points more. And what are the differences? Well, the only difference I notice is the forward line, with Nketiah coming in and Watkins and Richarlison also being there, Mateta not being there. So that's the one difference in the entire squad, and that's just for the bench boost in 36. Now this is, apart from that, everything else seems very similar, so which is why I think this one, where you have no chips left, you can still kind of downgrade it and make funds elsewhere, because the only difference in here is the bench is a bit more. You've got a better player in terms of a Mateta, sorry, in terms of Nketiah, who could possibly play both games in 36 double, whilst Mateta doesn't have a double in 36. Again, very strong squad. Changes I'll make: if you have a bench boost, you kind of have to have a decent strong bench. Do you really need an extremely strong bench? Maybe not. You could probably, again, like I said, Mendy you might want to caveat as well, especially with the Chelsea players in this list, because they have that Leeds game and there could be rotation for that Leeds game. So because the Leeds game is like, I think 2 or 3 days just before the FA Cup final, so maybe you don't need too many Chelsea players. Maybe you don't need triple Chelsea player going into Game Week 36. Oops, wrong one. Going into a Game Week 36 bench boost, you could probably remove one or two. Mendy could go to Foster. Obviously, very cheap goalkeeper. Will Foster keep two clean sheets? Maybe not, but you could probably upgrade somewhere else in midfield as well. But this is the 36 bench boost. Let me know what you think. Next one is going to be the 36 free hit with a wildcard in 34. 36 free hit. This is it. It's basically what it's doing is it's avoiding game week 36. So if you didn't have to worry about game week 36 in terms of the free hit, so if you didn't have to worry about the entire game week 36 and you just had to focus on 34, 35, 37 and 38, things kind of change a bit. It's got Guaita here. Guaita could be a good goalkeeper, but I'm not too convinced. But it's also managed to, you've been able to keep Harry Kane. Now, a thing to notice here is Harry Kane is not in one of these, mainly because of the fact that the 36 double for Spurs is really hard. Liverpool and Arsenal, tough game obviously, which is why Harry Kane is kind of ignored. But if you start to free hit in that game week, then Harry Kane comes into the conversation as well. Now, same thing in terms of midfield, it's a bit more stronger. It's focused more on the fact that 37 has doubles, where you have the likes of now Zaha stepping in. You've got Mateta as well. You've got Gordon from Everton. You have Rodriguez also in here as well. So you're kind of looking more at having a bit more players from the 37 doubles to try and get a bit more doubles there. The backline actually seems very steady. Instead of Robertson, because you want Harry Kane, to afford Harry Kane, you've downgraded Robertson to Matip. So it's still 2 Liverpool defense, 2 City defense, 1 Chelsea defender. Very strong backline by the looks of it. Everything is suggesting a back 5. Harry Kane being the main target line player. Now, let's swap it because there are still people with 2 chips as well. Strong position to be in. 34 wildcard with a 36 bench boost and a 37 free hit. Now, this is fully focused mainly on trying to maximize the 36 bench boost by the looks of it. The one issue that I have with this slightly, again, like I mentioned before, with regards to the 36 bench boost, is the fact that the Chelsea players could get rested and rotated during 36 bench boost. But the immediate gain of Mount, Havertz and James over here is something that you can't ignore. Now, strong gain over here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Mount, Havertz and James, game week 34, pretty good. After that, you could probably slowly fade them out ahead of the 36 bench boost, where you don't have triple Chelsea, but you could probably get someone else. You've also managed to keep Harry Kane in here, and you also have 1 Arsenal. You've got your very cheap goalkeeping options, like I said, Foster and Schmeichel. Ben White is over here as well. 335 points it's expected. That's because of the fact that it's not including game week 37, so it's still not a bad squad. It's still pretty good. This is something that I like personally as well. It's a really nice squad looking like it, especially if you're thinking of bench boosting in 36. Me on the other hand, I'm not really sure yet, but we'll have to see. One thing I must however note in all of this is the fact that City's double is not yet confirmed. So obviously City assets, while they are strong here, they might not necessarily be showing in the double chip options because we still don't know where the double is going to go. If it comes in 36, maybe you might see a bit more City assets being shown in here if it's shown to be that their double arrives in 36. But right now, we're not sure where it's going to be, 36, 37. I think it's going to be in 36. There's strong rumors suggesting that it might be in 36 as well. So keep that in mind. This could slightly alter. Take that into your consideration as well when making a squad. 36 bench boost, 37 free hit. Good, done. Let's go 37 free hit. Sorry, 37 bench boost and 36 free hit. What would that look like? And that's this. Basically, again, you get to keep Harry Kane. You've got the likes of Cancelo, Laporte, Ford. Now, you had triple City here. The reason you had triple City here is most likely because it's considering City as a potential double in 37. However, that could potentially change and you could potentially start seeing triple City in this squad if City do get a double in game week 36 instead of 37. Mount and James, still, you've gone from the triple Chelsea to double Chelsea. I think it's not a bad choice. If you can navigate a free hit in game week 36, you can avoid not having to worry about getting rid of your Chelsea assets, your Spurs assets. You can keep the likes of Mateta, Gordon, who's also pretty good. You can bring in the likes of Matty Cash. Someone here who's not here, maybe Foden can be replaced for Coutinho if City don't double. Then you could probably start seeing Coutinho in that replacement if City double in 36 and not in 37. So there are quite a few changes that could happen based on what happens with regards to City news, but this is also still a pretty strong squad. The core backline remains the same very much over all of these. The 2 City defenders, 1 Liverpool, 1 Chelsea here, but here you have double Liverpool, 1 City, 1 Chelsea. So you have at least 1 Chelsea, 1 Liverpool and 1 City in a majority of these, and that is what I think you might also want to start having. Because that's like going to be your core template. Do you have Reece James? I think Reece James now has a bit more assurance of mates. Points wise, not really sure, because now he's playing right centre back and can also play right wing back. So you might see 50% of the time he plays right wing back, 50% of the time he plays right centre back. That's something you probably have to take into account. But I'll still go Reece James out of all the Chelsea defenders. I would chase that upside. You have only a few weeks left. Chase that upside and go for it. Let me know what you thought about all of these squads. If you want to check your own squad, go to fplreview.com, put your team ID in there, and you can probably look into the transfers register. If you've watched the streams, if you watched our deadline day streams, you know we use this a lot, and it's quite helpful as well. So have a look, check what your squad could look like if you're on a wildcard. It's just based on a data model to try and help you as well. Let me know what your thoughts are, and this is it. If you're new, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the top point scorers for Game Week 34. We did a video in 33. It had a pretty good number of views and comments as well. So we're going to do one for 34 as well. Let's go. Tomorrow, Game Week 34, top point scorers. And then on Saturday, we have the deadline day stream. Until then, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.